it's now known to all of you, because how many here have seen Lidia Bastianich on television? I wouldn't even dare ask how many haven't. So, but I will pull rank in the most horrible insider way by saying that I knew Lidia before all of you did. And in fact, I think on the first trip you took journalists on to Tavola, to her native Istria, which was then across the wall and still socialist, communist, and we met her relatives. When was it? In the 1980s? It was before the fall of the walls. It was before 89.
Early 80s.
And the joy, the years of, she's very young, she's entirely ageless and was very, very young then. And yet, whatever years she had fell away from her face as she saw her relatives, took us to the granaries, took us around beaches, and she was a 7-year-old girl again, enchanted by these women, enchanted by the farms, enchanted by the sea. And she still has carried that enchantment with her and to us.
And when I go back, and I go back every year, because my grandmother's house, the little courtyard that you were in, time sort of stood still there, because after World War II, that whole piece of peninsula was given to Yugoslavia, became communist, and behind the Iron Curtain, it sort of stood still. So when I go back, it's still kind of that quiet town. And when I talk to the people there, you saw those old people, they talk about their chickens. They don't know who Lidia is. They don't know what Lidia does. They don't care what Lidia does. They're into their chickens and their animals and their vegetable gardens, and I just love going back. It recharges me. So thank you for bringing back those memories.
It's the spirit that Lydia is inviting us all into the kitchen now. One of my best memories was one of her elderly women relatives who, work in the fields keeps you young. So you had no idea if somebody was 50 or 85 because they just worked. They knew their lives. They knew their daily rhythms of what they would do season to season. And she said, "Crolla il socialismo," which meant socialism is going to crumble any minute. Down with socialism. And of course she was right. About 5 years later, no more walls.
That's about 350,000 ethnic Italians from that area in Dalmatia migrated, escaped, whatever, back to Italy and to the rest of the world, and I was part of that migration. I was 12 years old. Because I was born, I'm 47, right in 47.
No,
right?
she is 47.
Thanks. So my mother remained and had me, and the Iron Curtain went down, and we were stuck there for about 10 years until I guess we were old enough, and my parents decided that it was time maybe to get us out so that we can know the free world, because we couldn't speak Italian, we couldn't go to church. It was communist, socialist. And we escaped back to Italy, oddly enough. And now they wouldn't let the whole family go back to Italy because they knew that they wouldn't return. So they kept my father, my brother, myself, and my mother. We went as tourists because we had relatives on the other side, in Trieste and so on. But the children, I didn't know that we were not going to go back. And then after 3 weeks, my father literally escaped, met with us in Trieste. We stayed with relatives, but it was difficult, living, with somebody else feeding you, whatever. Jobs were hard to get for my father, and they decided that maybe it's best to migrate on.